Awesome. So, hi everyone. I'm Sarah. I'm so happy to be here. For next 25 minutes, I'll do my best to share some interesting insight about the future of AI, the new methods of machine learning, what are the challenges and opportunities. When I'm done with presentation, I would be happy to answer any question you might have. And just your thoughts on participation means a lot. So I'm looking forward to just hearing from you. So all we know, like machine learning and AI, they are exciting fields that is rapidly evolving and expanding. The AI is experiencing exponential growth and unprecedented rate. So we know that machine learning technologies and AIs are using in helping us to learn from data, recognize patterns, and do the predictions. Machine learnings are used in many industries like healthcare, finance, transportation. Like I working on food industry, and as Yasamin said, like we are working on offer recommendations, suggested sales, and there are many vast area of using machine learning. And so currently we have the advanced neural networks, which we use in deep learning. And all these deep learnings, like it has a background, it's originated in 1940s or 1950s. But because of the computational limitations, we couldn't use the neural networks in the way we are using today. I think it was 2012 that there was a breakthrough, the deep learning and computational research, that we could use deep learning in advance and applying it on training big models. So we know that they are using in computer vision, natural language processing, speech recognition, robotics, and many other fields. So in this presentation, first we are going to see what are the latest advancements in machine learning, AI. And then we look at what are the difference between the new models that we call transformer models, and what is the difference between transformer models and the deep learning model. So we know that we are using AI vastly. So we are talking about how we can get benefit and look at the risk and how we can govern the risk and make sure that these intelligent systems are transparent, explainable, and ethical. So um, there are many factors that help in the expansion of AI. First of all, it was computing power. More powerful processors and GPUs allows to like for faster and more complex computation that requires by AI. And then big data, streaming data, digital data, these massive data sets helps the expansion of AI. So along with the data set, we could have like the process of storage and processing, like using a Spark, using different technology helps to use the big data in the way that we couldn't use before. Then we have the algorithmic advances, which means like we have lots of researchers in AI and machine learning algorithm, deep learning, reinforcement learning, generative models, transformer. And then we have the investment of industries. Industries are interested in AI and machine learning. Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, they are heavily invested in AI. And also because there are vast variety of application of AI, we can see like, and we can develop models and tackle complex problems in many different industries that we already named them. So as we can see, we have the rapid expansion in the left plot, you can see the time span for IT companies to reach to 100 million users. So Google Translate, if you look at it, it starts with 78 months, which is 6 years and like 6 months that users start using Google Translate. Then we have Uber, Instagram, Spotify, and TikTok, and then ChatGPT. ChatGPT, which is started in February 22, it takes just 2 months to reach to 100 million. And what does that mean? It means like users are interested in using more AI, and we can see there are more research and interested in ML, machine learning models, and AI from industry. So in the left plot, as you can see, the academia started on developing machine learning earlier, but now in 2020, you can see like the models that the industries develop is very higher than academia. And the reason is that the industry has more computer power, they have money, and they can develop the new build AI systems. So what are the latest advancements? So I know we all heard about generative or transformer algorithm, and ChatGPT is one of the most like common or commonly used, as we said. So it is the ChatGPT's generative pre-trained transformative model that we go and talk about what are these type of model. So GPT-3, it started like it has 155 billion parameters, and comparing when they started with GPT-2, which was 1.5 billion parameter, you can see there is a huge increasement of parameters. And what are the parameters? They are internal variables or weights that the model learned during the training processes. So when we have more parameter, we can train better, and it helps to predict the next like sequential words or other inputs in the data. So there are different focus of researchers. There are some of the researchers working on increasing these parameters to trillion. That I heard that GP4 has 3 trillion parameters. And some other researchers, they develop simpler transformer with fewer parameters that can do the same thing. So we don't need to have like trillion parameter to train on the data, but we can get the similar performance on the large models. So actually, the ultimate goal is to make the models like human brain with the smallest like input, and it can be do the same thing like human brain. So in the meanwhile, there are some researchers that they are working to eliminate bias in the models, and this is the important part that we are going to talk about. This part as an important if we want to go and like use fast AI in future. So as I said, there are deep learning and there is transformer models. So transformers have been widely adopted in various natural language processing tasks. So what they do, they use text, and by using like many different mechanisms, they can work on the large data. And as you can see, we can have the best prediction based on the transformers. So the mechanism using transformers, it calls attention or self-attentions. So before transformers arrived, the users had trained natural language with large label data sets, which was time consuming and to produce. It needed to look at the patterns and elements mathematically and transform it on a big trained data set. So attention, when Google researchers in 2017, they presented a paper which they called attention is all you need. It's the new mechanism that play a crucial role in capturing all the relationship between the words or token and the input as a sequence of the text. So it can enhance the accuracy, as we can see in ChatGPT or GPT-3 or 4, and transformers can analyze different type of data. It is beyond the text. You can give proteins. It can understand the chemical structure. It can use DNA. And it's fascinating, the ability to track connection between the data points by using this attention algorithm. And it makes prediction about more complex systems possible. So I think we heard about transformers, generative AI, and as I talk, the attention mechanism, which is the important logic in all of them. So let's see what is generative models. So generative models are a class of models that actually generate new data based on the sample we get it in the train. So they can be generating realistic images. They can be create the language text. They can compose music. They are all generative models. So what are transformers? Transformers are architectures that using generative models or other models. It helps natural language processing or generative models to perform well as what we expected. And the attention is a mechanism that using transformer models, and it works with time varying data or sequence. So basically, what we had in deep learning and all other deep learning model was the structure called decoder and encoder. We have the recurrent neural network or RNN, which works in treatment sequentially. I will go and explain a little bit about how this decoder encoder change in generative and transformative models. So as a conclusion in this slide, we can say that generative models are broader category of that can encompass various techniques and generate new data like NLP tasks. They can use attention as one of the structure, or they can use the advanced encoder structure. But what we can see in our generative model is mostly based on transformer models and attention structure. So we just look at this and we want to see what is how the decoder encoder structure in recurrent neural networks work. So basically our inputs are some sentence or documents that we want to transfer it to numerical representing called embedding. So we get this sequence of text and it goes to encoder. And encoder, like what it does, it processes sequentially all the text like as a sequence, and it creates the fixed length vector, which called thought vector or context vector, which is the factor here. So this one, as an output of encoder, goes to decoder, and the decoder gets that and generate the predictions based on that. So when you look at this one, everything is sequential. So the problem of this one is that RNNs or this structure cannot capture all the information along the sequence. And there is a timestamp that you forget about some information because we are working sequentially here. So it limits the accuracy and quality of their outputs because of this in all the RNN. But advancing this decoder and encoder in attention, you can see that, so we have the new structure. How does it work? So as I said, attention is type of scoring. So it's a weighting method. It's advanced weighting method. And what it does, it's like allows the model to dynamically align the input and output sequence. So instead of sequencing and going to each RNN layer, we have parallel running, and it can understand, capture long range of dependency, and handle variant length of inputs, and it decode it to the output. So in this way, because it's type of dynamic weighting, it helps the model to predict better. We don't have most of the informations are captures, and we are not losing or forget any information like RNN before. So just I brought the simple example to see how like really this RNN and attention algorithm work. If you read the example, you can see like this is a text. So you give it as an input to RNN and any generative models. So you see, we say, after a long night, John woke up feeling hungry, make pancake, then it was a mess in the kitchen, and then he make the breakfast. So in RNN, which is the neural networks algorithms, old models, it can it most likely focus on the word that I bolded here, to clean the kitchen. So they have the tendency to give more weight to recent words, and they cannot capture whole long texts. They cannot see who is he and does he refer to John. But in attention, it enables to focus on a specific part of the input parallelly, and it can understand he is John, and it understands that making pancake for a breakfast make a mess, and then he had to clean the kitchen. So they can understand the whole text better and generate better prediction of the text. So now we want to talk about what are the opportunity of using ML and AI. So we use all of these machine learning methods and AI to improve our decision making. So we can work on vast data, and it helps us in different, as I said, industries. It can be finance, transportation, healthcare, IT, to improve the decisions faster and more efficient way than comparing to a human using like Excel words or some other type of word. So using ChatGPT or new AI, or it can help in revolutionize teaching and learning. So it has a potential of improving the educational process. It can improve learning. You can learn faster. You can learn more efficient, but we know that it can have some bias and limitation of individual learning that we will talk about it later. So definitely it can help in efficiency and productivity. We can see AIs now automate the workflow. They can optimize resource allocation. They can improve overall efficiency. So basically, like when you use ChatGPT, you can code with it, correct? So you can improve your programming skills. You can write emails, and everything is getting easier and easier, but it needs people to get to learn faster, and we don't want the gap of AI and human brains be like big. So adapting with AI and all these transformers models helps us to improve our life, but we need to know how and the best way we want to use it. So also it can enhance customer service, like ChatGPT AI can offer chatbots. By offering chatbots, actually create the opportunity to provide all the personalized customer services. So, but as we enjoy using AI, like what you can see as the image I created with AI and Midjourney, so there are risks that we should aware of that. So they are bias and discrimination because we don't know how we train it, what type of trained data is used in AI system. It can lead to discriminatory outcomes, which we should know. It is not always accurate. You cannot ask every question and get the correct answer. So there are lack of transparency that we need to focus on that one too. So all of these models for the users are like black boxes. So, and that brings like the concern about reliability and fairness of AI systems. So we will see job displacements. Many jobs can be replaced by AI, and economic disruption maybe would be an other like disadvantage of using AI. So this can result on employment, income inequality that we should make sure we can take care of that. There are security risks. We don't know what people use AI, and there is a misuse of them. So they can attack the AI systems, and it can like make a disaster and make incorrect decisions. You can optimize the AI objective function by just shutting down all the power of one city if someone uses it. So, and there are ethical concerns. So we should ask questions about privacy. We should know the consent, and we should make sure we are using it ethically. There are many AI systems that they can do facial recognition. You can filter your face completely. You can create the sounds of yourselves and just calling someone with your sound. So you can make autonomous weapon. So these are the concerns that we should aware while we are enjoying the AI. And then now we should talk about how we can effectively mitigate these risks, how we can control it. So there are regulation and standards. The government should establish some framework and put some standards how to use it, how to develop AI, who use it. And we can see like every like IT companies, they started to give a new AI for users, Google, ChatGPT, Snapchat. So we should have some regulation for that. There should be some ethical guidelines that we make sure we are capturing the ethicals. And the collaborative efforts, the government, industries, leaders, researchers, all the society, they should find what is the best practices. How can we use this AI, the knowledge and resources in the best way? We should monitor and evaluate AI systems. It needs to be evaluated to just get rid of the bias, the risk, and that we don't know what this AI like brings in future. And we should use it. We cannot put it away and say, okay, we don't like it, it is risky. The education and workforce, they need to have it. So we should prepare ourselves and find the best way of using AI in our work, in our training students, and every aspect of the life. So there are many, many works that we need to do before like vast using of the AI. So we are reaching to the fun part. I just created this. I mean, I didn't create it. I used the Menagerie, and these are all AI images. I wanted to show how like exponentially improvement of AI we can see. So imagine you wanna have product of perfume. As you can see, you can create such a nice advertisement of studio shooting product perfume. You wanna see a realistic image of woman in a field of flower. Or you prefer to look at the Robert De Niro as a Gimli, who is the Lord of the Ring movie actor. Or you like to look at the real deal cocktail sitting on a branch. So it can create massive images. It can combine many images, and it can create photographic increase. It can do many crazy photographs. And so as the final slides, I just found the AI short movies that different AI system use for that. So Midjourney, which is like generate image, used in this one. Then to improve the upscale the images, they use the stable diffusion. They use the 11 Labs as AI text to voice. And then they use DID, which is they change them mouth, eyes, and head movement and lip syncing. They use ChatGPT-4 to just create the story and dialogues writing, and they use Adobe to create the effect with video and editing. So this video is actually, they call it a Star Wars. So it is a Star Wars movie, and there is a famous filmmaker, and Wes Anderson, which has his own style. So they using all this AI system, they could create this short movie that I'm sure we can see in a year. Even we can make movies ourselves without waiting for someone to make a movie. So let's go and see this one.
How to kill all mosquitoes in the area
sorry,
in 90
always
seconds.
it comes with
this simple but brilliant trick you can do tonight.
In a galaxy far, far away, prepare for a reboot like never before. This summer, Wes Anderson brings you a side of the Star Wars universe you've never seen before, the Galactic Menagerie. Join this ragtag crew of unlikely heroes as they navigate the absurdity of the cosmos, challenge the Empire, and redefine what it means to be a rebel.
Our mission is simple. We steal the Emperor's artifact, save the galaxy, and maybe find ourselves along the way.
For this mission, we'll need lightsaber, blaster, thermal detonator, paper airplanes, spare parts, and R2-D2.
With a star-studded ensemble featuring the galaxy's most eccentric cast, the Galactic Menagerie is the most delightfully offbeat Star Wars adventure yet. Starring Timothée Chalamet, Scarlett Johansson, Edward Norton, Bill Murray, Jeff Goldblum, William Dafoe, Adrian Brody, and Owen Wilson.
Wow.
Coming to theaters this summer, may the Force be with you.
Yes, and that's it.
I spent 15 years of my career trying to create the.
So if you have any question, I would be happy to answer, and I hope you enjoy the presentation.
That was really great, Sarah. I really admired your presentation, and that was really, fascinating, of course. And as a fan of Star Wars, I also enjoyed your presentation, of course. So I'm going to read the inquiries for you. First, we start with Bob. He said that the opening slides are very authentically designed. I believe so too. We look forward to the presentation. Yes. And the question here is how AI will change the future of the education. How do you believe?
So what I think, like this is just my personal opinion. So it would be completely different. You cannot give the student the assignment because now just giving it to ChatGPT, it can solve the hardest problems, you know, it can solve any chemistry. It could even like, they could see that even in competitions of mathematics, it can answer the best solution. So we should get away from the probably work like assignments to students, and we should adapt with chat gpt. So the thing we don't want is the students just learn whatever it is, trusting the chat gpt or any ai available. What we want is just govern, make sure like this data is correct. If you are answering any question, definitely it is faster to ask chat gpt, but is it the correct answer? No, it is generative model. It maybe it gives you the best answer you want, but it cannot be the correct, accurate answer. So that's what I said. We need to have more govern on this and accept AI as part of the education, and not just say we don't want it in our educational system. It's already there. Every under 18 even ages, they are using it. So let's find a way to use it in the better way and make sure we are learning faster, we are learning better. You know, I myself, like I've been coding for 8 or 9 years, but ChatGPT could help me a lot. You know, it can be assistant for you. It has some mistakes, it has some errors, but we should adapt with AI. Like, this is what I wanted to say. We should have fun, we should learn from it, and we should control it.
Thank you so much for your answer. I kindly appreciate your presence today with us. And that was really an interesting presentation.
Sure. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. You have my email, and if anyone has any question, I would be happy to answer. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye-bye. You can disconnect your video and your screen if you want to.
What I want to do. So yes, I will leave the meeting. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for your presence. Okay, now I should apologize everyone because our two other attendees and delegates couldn't join us today. So I should thank you again for joining us today and the good presentations. It was a pleasure to have you here with us. We really wish for further collaboration with you and your participation in IGSMP. Do not hesitate to ask your inquiries via the contact information shared with you. So this concludes the webinar. Thank you all for attending, and we hope you learned and you enjoyed your time in this webinar. Best wishes from IGSMP for your future academic and researches, for your future academic experiences and researches. Happy to have you all. Goodbye.